Happy holidays and happy new year coming up to all the 29ers out there. Jason Matheny here from the mothership back in what's actually a bit of a chilly Houston, Texas. Like Houston chilly here, Terry. It's like, 50 today. Like you always get to see the people break out their hardcore cold weather gear. It's like back to 65 in the afternoon, which always makes me laugh. And you see like the people in their furs, their deep cold gear. It's a sign that you don't live in an actual cold weather location. Like you had to have some super thick stuff when you lived up in Maine, right? And Long
Yeah,
Johns, all those things.
I had a heavy Carhartt jacket, and on the real cold days, I'd put a hoodie on underneath it, and that usually kept me pretty warm. When I hauled mail the last 8 years up there, basically driving box trucks and dropping off cages of mail to post offices along the way. So we were like the monkey in the middle. We brought it to them so they could deliver it to you, type of thing. And man, some of those trucks did not. It was such an old fleet of trucks, and some
Crank
of
windows and
exactly,
certainly not
yeah,
heated seats or anything.
nope. And and some of them were heated better than others. So if you had one that didn't heat well, it was going to be a chilly morning.
Wow, just warm up with a beverage, I guess. I feel like a jerk because it's like I'm in this hot weather city and like there's so much like technology on the car that I have. Like I don't drive anything overly fancy. It's a Volkswagen or whatever, but it has a steering wheel warmer that you can
Oh,
turn on, which is fancy. Ooh, the one day a year I get to use it. But anyway, so welcome in everybody. It's a Cribbage podcast. So yeah, holidays. You sneaking in any games or just lots of fun, what is it? You had your meal with like your girlfriend, what you guys just hung out, did the holiday thing, anything of note that happened with you? You get any cribbage gear?
nothing really cribbage related. I just kind of got my normal stuff, mostly shirts. She got
Mhm.
me a nice Red Sox fleece actually, which is cool. Good time of year to wear that. And we ended up. She bought a car, and I did all the negotiating on it, and so that was kind of neat. And
Oh, that's
um,
cool. All
we'd
right.
been shopping for a few weeks, and ended up with a 2019 Honda Civic, which is the model years older than what we kind of initially drew up in our minds, but it the mileage is super low on it, so and the price was right, so we went for it. And yeah, so that was kind of an adventure though, with all the other dealers that I dealt with leading up to that, and we finally had a really good sales guy that took care of us. So
Oh, good, good. That's fun. Like as a kind of reformed car guy, like it's in the blood, right? Like I think I mentioned before that my father was an auto dealer. Um, Like, yeah, Hondas, man, those things will run forever. Like Hondas and Toyotas. Like I speaking as somebody that drives a non-Honda or Toyota, anybody who buys something else should probably have their head looked at. Just for, you're just asking for pain. But you did not come here for auto advice. You came here for cribbage stuff. And what is it? We both have tournaments coming up. I am positively itching. It's been since Grand National for me. You had some stuff a little more recently, and was I've got Fort Walton Beach coming up in 2 weeks. So today we're recording on the 30th, so like 2.5 weeks until my next event. You've got one coming up, and was it like a week? I think something like that.
not this coming weekend, but the following one in Asheville. So Jacob French is hosting that.
That's Jason
Uh,
Matheny nemesis. Jacob French is hosting that. Despite his smacking me around, I hope that tournament goes great. I hope to come out to that one sometime in the future.
And just one note about it, it's probably too late in the game for the spontaneous people to jump in, but Asheville typically is, a cheaper airport to fly into. So in future years, if anyone considered it, and I don't think there's many tournaments that first or second weekend of the year across the country. You're still kind of in that holiday lull. So another excuse to check airfare anyway.
Anybody going out to that one, I have a restaurant suggestion. There is, gosh, now I can't remember the name of it. There's I believe the place is called Biscuit Head, and
Oh,
they serve lots of like biscuits and gravy, and they have a gravy flight. I don't even know if this place is still open. I haven't been there since like I think like 2017 maybe. But you can buy a gravy flight, and I think you get like 6 or 8 different gravies that you can like have. So if you're a gravy person, certainly cannot afford to. Not that you're shaking your head. That's I
Not
shouldn't
me.
be surprised,
Yeah.
Terry. That is not your cup of tea, but the food there is pretty good, like regardless of what it is. Do you even like biscuits? The biscuits are yes,
I
yeah.
do. So when I get mashed potatoes, I just prefer butter, basically.
Okay. Okay. So is gravy like a olive level dislike, or is it like a
No,
no? It's
no,
like a mild.
it's okay, like, I could eat it, but it just tends to be messy on the plate. I guess if I was gonna get it, I'd want super light gravy,
Okay.
on my
You get like
potatoes.
a almost like a candelabra of like little things of gravy, so you can keep it pretty contained if that's like your concern. I'm not
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not gonna sell you on trying like any foods. Like that's just not where I live. It's not who I am. But anybody else who wants to try that place, I would give it the Matheny seal of approval. But all right, yeah, tournament's coming up soon. I am downright itchy, and it's my like heavy season coming. I've got that one, and then the Phoenix tournament, the Roadrunner, coming up at the end of the month. So yeah, I'm all like fired up. It's like tournament season before we know it for me. And then like Reno, and I just booked the other day for like my air travel because I found it cheap for like Deadwood coming up in like April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fair just hint for anybody there, at least for me, like airline travel seems very cheap right now. I think it's maybe just everybody's done with all their holiday stuff and nobody's booking yet. So I don't know. I found it to be downright reasonable, which is not something I've heard of a lot for like that area. So I don't know, give it a look if you choose to. But anyway, we got a lot of hands to go over today in the mailbag and everything else. So we're just going to jump the fantasy draft this week, and 'tis the season. Terry, are you a New Year's resolution guy? Because I am not.
I like hearing all the other people's, resolutions and, judging how realistic they're gonna be based on what I know about the person. So,
I mean,
so
they're entertaining, but like I don't know. It's such an arbitrary line with like New Year's where people like try to, oh, I'm gonna turn over this new leaf. I'm gonna like do this different or whatever it is. To me, it's like you should always be trying to, improve yourself. And, I guess if a new year is what pushes you over the line to like be that person, yeah, right on. Like, I'm all for anybody trying to improve themselves, but it seems like just a silly kind of arbitrary reason to do it. That being said, for the fantasy draft this week, we're going to do, I guess, like our New Year's resolutions, if you will. Cribbage and not, just whatever it is that we think we can to improve ourselves, as perfect as we are naturally. Like, give a little hair toss to those who are watching this on YouTube. But yeah, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't know. I'm not one of these like YouTubers. I always feel like that when you hear video people saying that.
yeah, smash the
So
like button, hit the
yeah, smash
notifications.
like, oh, that's the favorite. Tell your friends all this. Nah, it's yeah, if people want to listen to this show, that's awesome. If not, hey, that's cool too. Although it's still weird. I still don't get like negative feedback from anybody. Like like I always want feedback on the show. Everybody seems to like it, and I'm happy that everybody likes it. But every once in a while, I want somebody to be like, you know what, Jason, it drives me nuts when y'all do this. It's like, okay, all right, good that I can hear, So anyway, okay. So get the nickel of destiny out here. Did actually manage to like not lose it again. This is like fifth week in a row. It's kind of a personal record for me. Maybe that should be my New Year's resolution, just not to lose the nickel anymore. Terry, I'm going to flip it and allow you to call it here.
Heads.
Heads. Oh, it is a tail. I'm sorry. You can see it right
Okay.
there. Kind of, sort of. It's you want to zoom in and do your Zapruder thing. You can check that.
I
But
trust you.
yeah, that's your first mistake. Okay. You know what? I'll take the first pick here. And I feel like this is the only one that I have that is like cribbage related. And I don't know if there's a good way to say this, but I want to handle losing better. That is my thing that I seek to resolve to do, is to not get tilted, not get mad, not go nonverbal, not nearly book a flight out early in the middle of an event. I want to be just as pleasant to people as I am if I've won 8 in a row or lost 8 in a row. and that is a work in progress for me. I feel like I'm better than I used to be. I literally used to at our grassroots. I used to go into the bathroom and like punch the wall. Like I wasn't like an angry person or whatever it is, but just every once in a while I just had to like, you ever do that like cathartic like yell thing? It's very like new agey or whatever. But if I can just get out a little something, I can kind of go back and okay, all right, we're good.
What are those rooms where you can walk into them and you're allowed to break everything in the room? Like stuff is placed in there.
Yeah, I've
Like
heard them called a break room. I've never done one of those. I kind of have wanted to.
I wonder if
I
cribbage
think they have
tournaments should
lots.
have them.
That'd be a neat little idea. Just, I don't know. Like that's a fun idea for those tournament directors out there. If you want to put in a like I don't know what you want to call it, a break room, an anger room, or this or that. But yeah, those seem neat where you can just kind of like take a sledgehammer or do the things. If I ever do that, I'll maybe make a little recording we can use on the show here. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, I just want to be a better sport, like win or lose. I don't feel like I've ever truly like crossed the line with somebody or been like really truly like mean, but I definitely get really quiet and people tend to notice. So I try to again just be the best version of myself. So that's my first pick is just, however you want to say that. Be less of a dick when I'm losing. Like just, be a better sport is better to say it. So anyway, that's my first pick. That's what I'm selecting.
All right. So I got two now. Thank goodness you didn't take mine. Um, as people know that see me at tournaments, I've taken my health a lot more seriously the last couple of years. But the one area where I slip up when it comes to, eating recklessly is at cribbage tournaments. So
Mhm.
this year, and I'm really gonna do this and give it my best shot. I'm gonna eat better at cribbage tournaments,
Okay. All right.
less junk, because that's where I tend to fall backwards a little bit. So that's number one.
Okay. So when you stay in the house in Phoenix, like
Yeah,
I can put out my normal like spread of olives and cheeses and stuff to,
that would be
stay
perfect.
nice and healthy.
Good.
Okay. Yep. All right. So eat better at tournaments. I agree. That's to me, it's almost sometimes it's almost a little easier to eat better at tournaments. Because it's so your day is so like structured and it's almost like I can like pre-think that stuff out. Although I've definitely had some like fall off days too. So that's valid. Okay. All right. So that's your first one. What's your second one?
Second one is I'm gonna climb a mountain, and very specifically, I'm gonna climb one at the Topaz tournament in March.
What you gonna like
There's
Brian Gurdon or which mountain are you talking about? Like trying to think who are the tall cribbage players, Dale Magadons, like
Jim Mahan, maybe.
Jim Mahan. Yeah,
Um,
he's pretty tall.
yeah, so directly across the street from the Topaz Lodge, there is a mountain, and it's surrounded by mountains, really. But when I first went there in 2013, and I've been there 3 or 4 times overall, I've kind of eyeballed this one mountain where there's this ridge that very gradually just kind of goes up, and it's not very rigorous. It looks like it's more like a path, and I'm like, geez, that pathway just kind of makes it so easy to climb up it. But I've never had the right footwear to do it, so I'm gonna do it in March. Megan Player is gonna climb it with me, and so I don't know. That'll be literally the most strenuous thing I've done in the in the last probably handful of years, I would guess.
Okay. Well, it's gonna be quiet on this podcast doing it alone. Like no, I hope it goes great. So is it something where you're actually gonna have to like climb rocks, like actual
I
or
don't.
is it more like hiking?
I would say it's probably closer to hiking. Um, I can show pictures of it on the Facebook account,
Okay.
and yeah, but it looks like it's fairly steep. It's something I'm going to take my time doing. I don't want to. I think my heart is pretty good, but I don't want to. I'm at the age where if you overdo it, you could have a problem. And so I'm guessing it's going to take at least 60 to 90 minutes to get to the top.
Okay.
If you're
All
being
right.
careful, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm happy for y'all on that goal. Like I hope you guys have a good time with it. I remember my brain goes back when you mentioned that stuff to, in Reno, most of the time I have stayed, at a bunch of different, like, places, and there's this one, like, hotel, like, by Walkover that would have, I don't think it does anymore, but it would have one of those giant, like, rock things up to the top of the hotel, if that makes sense, like, along the side of the wall of the hotel. So you could go there and then climb up the side of this building, like,
Huh.
King Kong or something like that, but it's never been my thing. I don't really have, like, the upper body strength for a lot of those things to kinda, like, pull yourself up, but I've always thought about those things, although I'm not a big heights person either. I don't know. Are you, like, afraid of heights or
Yeah, there's certain rides at amusement parks I won't do. Anything that puts me in a free fall, for instance, I will never do it. And I don't like
Okay.
roller coasters that go backwards. If they're going
Okay,
front, yeah.
I don't think I've ever been on one that goes backwards, but yeah, that's probably a different level of, like, fear. Yeah, there's a funny picture I'll have to share. Maybe I'll share it on, like, the Facebook page of Sarah and I went to, the Mall of America, like, last year, and there was, like, a roller coaster there, and one of the snaps they take of it that they try to sell you afterwards, and it was so good, that we had to, like, it was, like, the best $10 we ever spent in our life, and, like, Sarah's hands in the air, big smile, everything else, and my face is just, like, smushed, and I look like I am ready to die. It's fantastic. Okay, alright. Well, let's run through these, I get the next 2 picks. I'll run these somewhat quick. I'm gonna take 2 that I think are for me, like way easy ones, and I say that until I do that. All right, I'll take, like, biting my nails. I'm gonna try to stop biting my nails. Just something I've always done is like a nervous tick, especially when I'm driving. I feel like is one of my, like, rough spots for when I bite my nails, or a lot of times if I'm watching like a sporting event and I get nervous, I'll just find myself like gnawing on my fingernails. It's something I've done kind of my whole life. So that's one I've always wanted to be able to, like, stop doing. And then, I'm just gonna say, like, less food delivery, right? Like we are all living in this world where with, like, whichever one of your choice, right? DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever it is, they are so easy to do, and I feel like it's, like, horrible for me to do. You spend a lot of money. There's just 1,000 different better ways to do it. Even if you want, like takeout food, just I wanna go get it rather than, like, do the things. So, just less, like, food delivery, I think is something that would be, like, healthier for me, but also, like, just a better practice where, like, save a little bit of money in the process as well. Now you do, like, Uber, but it's just the right thing. You don't do, like, the food delivery stuff, or do you do both?
I don't do the food delivery stuff because I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up, and I don't really know how much more profitable it is um, over just driving
Doing
people around.
the
Yeah.
ride share, yeah. Okay.
So
Alright.
something weird, this past weekend, there was an armed carjacking very
Oh,
close to where I was at the exact time, and I was able to go look at my rides to see which area I was in, and I was 10 blocks away from where it happened, so that's sketchy, and I know that that's not a good area, and I'm usually vigilant while I'm in there, and, but yeah, that was kinda that's a weird, side story, but yeah, so alright, I get 2 more, don't I?
yes, your last 2 here.
Alright. So this one's kind of lame, but I didn't go to the beach one time in at least to swim. I think I did go one time, but it wasn't like an actual full on beach day. So I'm gonna do that a lot more frequently this year. Seems like on the even numbered years I don't do it that much, and then on the odd numbered years, for some reason, I go to the beach a ton. So, yeah, and we get a state park pass here in Myrtle Beach. It's $100 a year. You can go to the state park. Your parking is essentially covered at that point because it gets you into the park. Clean bathrooms, which for me, raging germaphobe, that's a big thing. And they got like a little country store there, so they got literally everything you need right there. And so I'm gonna take advantage of that a little bit more.
Oh, cool. Alright. I hate the beach personally. Like, I am like, just the sand to me is just unpleasant. Like they say you are beach or mountains, but I guess you got both of them. Be climb a mountain and then go to the beach more. So you're Mr. Outdoorsy going forward, like Terry REI Cushman over there. So okay, all right.
Yeah,
So your last resolution for 2026.
very simple, and I saved the best for last. I I hope to, not trying to be too cocky, maintain my undefeated record against David Aiello.
What is this record? Like 1 and
It's
0, 2 and 0,
2-0 now, 2-0, yeah.
2 and 0. Okay. All right. Undefeated against David, against the chosen one. Uh You should just retire now, right? There aren't a lot of cribbage players that can probably say they are undefeated against Dave Aiello. Yeah, I always like when you could just cut a streak and just be that way forever. Like I think I am undefeated against Brian Gurdon in playoffs.
Okay.
Um, so which is I think it's 2-0. Brian, fact check me on this if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's one of those just cut it, just retire, undefeated champion. That's a good move on that one. Man, I wish I had a good one to close on this last one. Um, I'm gonna combine a few of mine into my last one, um, which is like I wanna read more just as my last resolution and spend less time on my phone, like just
Oh,
more quality time with like people. But like I really used to like reading, but the problem is I need like 100% silent room in order to do it. And just in the world nowadays, it doesn't come along all that often, and especially with like the cell phones that we all have that are so easy to just lock in on. Like I feel borderline addicted to my cell phone, and I want to try to like unhook myself from that a little bit. I don't know if you get this, but like most iPhone users, and I'm sure it's a setting you turn on or off, but on Sunday it will give you your screen time report of how much time you've spent on your phone over the week. I've had a few of those where it's gotten real ugly. I just feel embarrassed. I'm not. I am so embarrassed. I am not going to say on this program what some of those numbers have turned on, showed me. Like, so it's not good. It's not good. So I want to do a little better on that. Okay, so even though we are perfect humans, we are resolving to do better. I'm going to be a better sport, stop biting my nails, have a little bit less food delivery, and read a little more, be a little less on my phone. Terry is going to eat better at tournaments, climb a mountain, spend more time at the beach, and then remain undefeated against the chosen one, against Davy Vowels, Dave Aiello. Which do you like of those nicknames, by the way, better for him? Like both of those are pretty good.
they're both very good, yeah. I mean, he's got some insane numbers for a relatively short sample size, of tournaments, and, but Davy Vowels is kinda cool because his name is structured with just so many vowels, it's
Well, yeah, it's
crazy.
4 of the 5, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
so it'd be pretty
yeah.
dumb if it weren't the case. It'd be a pretty bad nickname, but we'll go with that. Okay. All right, so on to the mailbag. Again, cribbagepodcast@gmail.com is the best way to get in contact with us. You can also leave comments on the Facebook page, et cetera, et cetera. The long match, still accepting entries into those. The last I checked, and I haven't really fiddled with it since like the start of the holidays. We're already over the 32 player mark. So we're going to close it up pretty soon here and get it started. Let's see. First email that I have is from uh, Daryl Desjardins. I always screw up his name, but
I think
um,
that's correct.
yeah. Hey, finally got it right. Right. That should have been my news resolution, is to get everybody's names right in the mailbag. Um, guys, as usual, fun show considering your least favorite holiday songs and then cribbage analysis. However, how about exploring life wisdom fusing terrible holiday music and frustrating cribbage hands? Grandma got run over by a reindeer is the 2468 hand with a 10 cut card, he says. This song is aggressively annoying, telling a darkly comic tale with all the subtlety of a sleigh collision, like holding four cards that refuse to connect in any meaningful way. It is technically music, but offers nothing of value. Well said. Christmas shoes, holding 5552, and you cut a 9. This mawkishly, I don't even know that word, mawkishly manipulative ballad about a dying mother and poverty stricken child buying shoes is emotionally calculated to the point of cringe, like seeing three fives and realizing you're a face card three, five, or eight away from a much larger hand. It's frustratingly almost there, but ultimately disappointing. I didn't realize Daryl was this much of like a wordsmith. This is like, like this is like poetry here. It's closest we've gotten to that. Santa Baby, a crib flush that's one suit off. Eartha Kitt's materialistic plea to Santa is uncomfortable in its transactional romance. You got four diamonds and a heart for your crib. Looks promising until you realize it scores nothing. The lesson: surface level appearances can be deceiving. Uh, Boy, that is a bummer, right? You flip over that and you go, "Oh, crib flat." Oh, maybe not. That's
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite tricks is to call those a 0 point flush. Just, throw the crib over and be like a 0 point flush. Let's see. You both astutely picked the songs listed above. However, neither mentioned one of my all-time holiday stinkers, "Wonderful Christmas Time" by Paul McCartney. He says the 20-point hand that got mugged for 4 points. Repetitive synthesizer torture that somehow came from a Beatle. You're in hole 104, then counted your 20-point hand as 16, missing 4 points, and your opponent caught your error, leaving you in the dead hole. Lesson: even the greatest players can produce duds, and overconfidence leads to mistakes. I kind of dig that one. I gotta be honest. It's a little like twangy. I like the synth, but that's again, like choice. Thank you for that one, Daryl. That's brilliant. The deepest wisdom: both bad Christmas songs and bad cribbage hands teach us about managing disappointment, finding humor in failure, and remembering the next deal or song might be better. That may be the best email we've ever gotten on this program. Like just credit to Daryl who coined us the 29ers. That is a well written email. And I have no smooth transition over to Robert Milk, who says, "Merry Christmas, hashtag Team Terry and hashtag Team Jason." Oh, appreciate that I'm not Team Sidekick anymore. So maybe we'll actually read this. He mentions there won't be any snow. "Christmas in the Jungle" circa 1966 was considered the worst Christmas song ever. He mentions it was like a war protest song. "Enjoy Chinese dinner, Bob." So I appreciate Bob for sending that one over. Bob, we will be seeing you in about a month when I will be taking revenge on one of my few finals defeats, hopefully on that one. Let me see. Former rookie of the year now, Stephen Dugas. Emails and says, "Merry Christmas, happy holidays, my friends. Just thought that when you do the pairings for the long match, you do it on a podcast for everyone to see. Seems like you guys are getting a lot of players and good wins in that, so it should be fun. Look forward to seeing you both soon on the tournament trail Doogie." Yes, that's the plan, Stephen. We're gonna figure out a way and draw these things live. I think it will be really, really fun to just kind of run through these and hopefully get some interesting things on that. And also, Jamie Fitcher reaches out, says, "To Oscar, the Grinch, Scrooge, whoever you're channeling today, Merry Christmas." So, Merry Christmas to you too, Jamie. Thank you for the email, for thinking of us on that one. All right, I think that's everything from the inbox that wasn't just hands, as well as again a lot of entries for the long match. We still haven't like settled fully on a format for that one. So if you have suggestions on that too, please feel free to email them. I think we're gonna go. I think I have an idea of what I think is how we should do it, kind of similar to how some of the online long matches have gone, but I don't know. Still to be negotiated there, I suppose. All right. Let's get to the hands. I am totally looking forward, by the way, to pulling the matchups for like the long match. I feel like that will be a blast. And I'm trying to get there. We go. Okay. Hopefully we can see this okay. Right. So first hand here comes from Mike Delana, and I thought this one was interesting. So he gave a little background, said, "Is it grassroots?" And he said, I think it was that he'd already it was last game and he was already on 12 points. So there's no skunk in play here or anything like that. So you are first count in hole 47. Your opponent is dealing from hole 51. This is one of these you just look down and you go, "Oh man, it's so close to like I want this to be my crib, but 3 3 3 4 5 5." Before we go too deep into the hints, you have a running count of where we're at on agree, disagree? Are we
Yeah,
updated on that?
36 agree, 30 disagree. So there's
Okay.
a 6-point gap.
All right, nice little spread there. 36-30. It's like a Second Street math, like trying to figure out where you're trying to get to. Okay. So let me go back to this one again. You are first count in hole 47. Your opponent is dealing in hole 51. 3 3 3 4 5 5. What do you think, Terry? Is that like what's your goal here? Do you think this one's like evident? It's a couple of very, very potential nice hands here.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I expect we're going to disagree on this, but I'm just going to throw 3-5 here and keep the easier path to 12 points. You could throw 3-3 and that's pretty harmless, but I don't know. I like having two threes in my hand to really control the pegging here. And not an ideal situation, but 5-3 for me.
I'm gonna surprise you, and I actually agree. For the record, you said 3-3 feels safe, and it does not feel very safe to me. And if anything, that's the main reason why I think 3-5 is the toss here. It's right, like 3-3 can get very ugly, just like 3-5 can. I mean, just like anything can in this game, but like I just don't see a major difference between 3-3 and 3-5. It's and 3-3-4-5 is one of my absolute favorite cribbage hands. Right there, multiple cuts at 12 and 14, all the way up to 21. Right, and I just don't like the way 3-4-5-5 pegs. So kind of same answer, same reasons. I actually agree with you. So hey, look at that. It's a holiday miracle, like first hand out of the box. We agree. So thank you for that one, Mike. Let's jump to the next one here. Again, shout out to cribbage121.com and David Hayes, who allows us to use this for the podcast. It's a great site. He does that. Have you ever done the Cribbage 121 like scorecard thing? I don't know if you or
I'm
anybody
a,
else knows what I'm talking about
I'm
here.
I'm familiar with it, and I've seen other players use it. I know Debbie Cotter is a big proponent of it, but
Yes. For those that don't know, if you're playing an event, most of the time he will, I think, list the actual event or whatever it is, but you can type in your scorecard digitally as you go. And it will, if there are other people in the room doing it, you can kind of compare and contrast. And it is nice also. It just kind of tells you, like, right, who of us at the end of a 22 gamer has not looked down at your scorecard and had no interest in adding and subtracting columns? Even typing it on your phone is kind of sometimes a task. If you've been filling it in as you go, it's already there. So, all right. Here's one from Canadian Jordan, who is unofficial official commissioner. I don't know if we've given him an official title for the long match, but it's judge, jury, executioner. Mountie. He's a Mountie. I like that. He's like long match Mountie, Canadian Jordan. Here's one he sent. It is your own crib, and you are in hole 58. Your opponent is in hole 74. So again, your own crib, and there is a flush here. So let me give you all the cards first. Ace, 3, 6, 6, 8, 9. And if you opt to keep the flush, it would be ace, 6, 8, 9. So break this one down, Terry. How do you see this? What would you do?
when you're this far behind and your opponent's ahead by 16 points,
Mhm.
ideally you want to be in a situation where you can have a really good hand and a really good crib, and I just don't see how you can really do that here. I mean, if you keep the flush ace 6 8 9 and you throw 3-6 to the crib, which I hate throwing, really it's hard to really make that work. It's just like the percentages are low that you're gonna you will smash both or just have a big net gain between your hand and crib. um I don't like throwing ace 8 to my own crib with 2 6s showing. I just don't think that. I think that's a very low percentage thing. So I again, I don't expect you to agree with me here, but I'm actually going to throw ace 3 here and just hope that I smash one of the two. And if they have all middle cards and they're leading to me, you could do a lot of damage with 6 6 8 9. So ace 3 to the crib for me.
Okay. I think that's an accept. I think this is a good puzzle because I think there are 3 or 4 different ways to do this. To be honest, I didn't even see the 3 6 6 9 until you mentioned it, which is silly. I kind of locked on the flush and I saw the 6 6 8 9. I even thought you could maybe make a case for like a 6 6 8. Maybe not much of one there, but I think I'm just holding the flush here. I want the 8 points, and even with the 6 3 to the crib, hey, 6 is kind of your bingo cut there, right? 6 cut there, kind of get you in the game. Kind of could hand and crib, and you're right about even ace 6, 8, 9, right? If they have middle cards, you can still smash them up pretty good on that one. So I think I like the flush just a little bit more there. And if anything, for kind of what you mentioned, right, the ace 3, there's just, I mean, I guess with an ace cut, if that one comes up, but that's only an 8-point hand, and who knows what could happen in the crib if that one comes up. So even if you get your like magic cut, it may not be special. So I think I just like the flush there, and I'm gonna attack and take really anything I can. You're already 11 points out of position to start this one, so you got a long way to go to have a shot in this one. I just think I think a flush is my preferred hold on this one. But that's a was it like a one chili pepper disagree on that one? Like that's a yeah, all right, I can buy it. Not a what in the world are you thinking, Terry? Disagree. All right, here's one that I had from I had a couple from grassroots this week, um, where it was both 0 0 your own crib. I feel like more often than not, puzzles you see it's everybody else's crib. But here's one I thought that was at least a little bit intriguing. So 0 0 your own crib. In the hand, and there is a flush here. It is 4 4 8 10 queen queen, and with two pair, it seems obvious what the flush is, but I'm going to say it anyway. It would be 4 8 10 queen for the flush with another 4 queen. So really two ways to do this, maybe three if you really want to squeeze it. Terry, how do you like this one?
Yeah, without much hesitation, I'm just going to hold the flush here. 4 8 10 queen with the 4 queen to the crib throw. I just think it pegs pretty well. I mean, you lead that 4, you can pair a bunch of things. You also have a lot of decent cuts. You kind of have a double gut shot draw there with a 9 or a jack that'll get you to at least 7 points, more if you count the 2 for cutting the jack. The ace 5 also plays into it. So I just I kind of like it. You know, I just feel like you got a lot of options by holding the flush here.
Okay, I agree. First hand out of the box, right? I think the flush is the way to do this one, but 8 10 seemed a little intriguing to me. Um, could I sell you on 8 9 if instead of that 10 being a 10, if it's a 9, would you consider throwing 8 9 and holding 4 4 queen queen?
Yeah, in that case, I probably would.
Okay. It's close for me either way. And some of this is a little opponent dependent on me, right? There are some people that just won't 3 middle cards to save their life. And it's important to know who those people are so that when you have a hand like this, you won't throw 8 10 or 8 9. But yeah, I think the flush is kind of the way either way. And I would note also that if you miss this cut, I'm certainly gonna try to, pick and choose my spots. I'm not gonna panic. But if I whiff this cut, I'll probably attack a little bit more on the pegs than I normally would. So, all right, we'll call that one agree. Look at that. 1 and 1 so far. I feel good.
2 and 1.
All right. 2 and 1, 2 and 1. See, I can't even count today. All right, so here's another one. It's 0 0 your own crib. This is one of these classic, like you have 2 3 card hands, which is always annoying when it's your own crib. So it's 5 6 6 9 queen queen, and to me there are two very specific ways to go on this one. But who knows? You've surprised me so many times, Terry Cushman. Uh, I've decided not to be surprised anymore, or at least try not to. So yeah, your own crib, 5 6 6 9 queen queen 0 0 right out of the box. How do you like this spot?
I'm gonna throw 5 queen here. 6 6 9 queen. I mean, it's not the greatest hold necessarily, but you are holding 6 points, and theoretically you're not going to get destroyed pegging. You have some outs. You should be able to maneuver. You can pick between offense and defense, and you could end up with a decent crib out of it.
Okay, so that's what I did. However, I'm going to disagree with you, and I think I threw this wrong. I think queen queen is the way to hold this hand. Um, and the whole reason being is that 5 6 6 is so powerful. Not only is it right, like you have the 4 or the 7 cut that gets you big points, but also just the way that one pegs, right? Like it's It's very, very easy for your opponent to have faces and fives, and if they lead a face in that spot, usually you can do pretty well, depending on how aggressive you want to be, right? Putting the five on the face card and potentially getting the six for the 31, or really in the more traditional route, right? If they lead, say, like a jack, you just play the six, you hope they play another face card, and then you play the five for the 31. You kind of shut down a lot of the pegging. Um, so I think the upside of the 5 6 6 9 is a little more power here than, and it kind of supersedes the queen five to your crib. Just my own thoughts on this one. So
I don't love queen queen. I mean, if this was a Hail Mary situation, I would throw it that way. You know, kind of like I think it was the last hand where you're down 16. Um, that may be a situation where I do it, but I just don't. I typically don't get good cribs when I throw a pair of face cards.
yeah, I mean, I clearly like it's, most time when you throw two queens to your crib, it's like when you throw two eights to the crib, right? You're gonna flip up 2 points more often than not. But I'll take my chances here. It's early in the match, and I have a chance to hit a game break or cut, I think pretty early. Like it's just that 5 6 6 in the hand and in the pegging is just a little too powerful for my taste. But this is a I could be convinced otherwise when it's like it's not even that's like the cinnamon sugar level of spice, as they say.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
all right. Here is a Terry hand. So I'm gonna let you take this one away, Mr. Cushman.
Yeah, so we're on 4th Street here, and I am pwn in the 97 hole. Opponent is dealing from the 94 hole, so just barely in or out of position, however you want to look at it here, is the dealer. And you're holding ace 3, 4 4 4 8. And it's your opponent's crib.
Okay. For me, this one is a smash. Like to me, it's a very easy choice, right? This is a spot where you want to play as much defense as you possibly can. Right? You're going to win this game as long as your opponent does not deal out from hole 94. And to me, in this spot, the best defensive throw is ace 8. Maybe I'm wrong with potential to throw 8 3, but I just feel like I can stay out of trouble in the pegging while still holding 3 4 4 4. I still have cuts at 17, which if I hit a 17 cut, maybe the calculus changes a little bit, and like I might trade a few holes to try to peg out on the next hand. But I think just the power of 3 4 4 4, if anything, to just kind of like I feel pretty safe that I can kind of manage this pegging as I need to. I don't think four ace is even worth considering here, and I don't like holding ace 4 4 4 in that spot. That one feels like I can get in a little bit more trouble, weirdly, than maybe I'm just dead on wrong, but I like the 3 4 4 4 here pretty significantly.
I think from a pegging, well, I don't know. I still think they could. I still think
I
you
think
could
it's
get
my
destroyed
opponent, to
holding.
be honest, right? Tricky players, if you lead a 4 in this spot, right? Somebody like Voldemort could drop a 5 on it very easily, or a 6
Yeah.
or something like that, and then you just, so this is where opponent dependent can matter a little bit to me.
So I went for defense to the crib, and I went for the 3 8 throw where I'm holding 3 4s. And my logic was it is so tempting to keep the 3 4 4 4 together, but I'm just not close enough to going out. If I was maybe 5 points further up the board, I would probably be more inclined to hold it that way. But I just decided to keep the ace 4 4 4, go for the easy 12 cut, and hopefully blank their crib.
Okay, fair enough. I still like the way I'm holding it a little bit better. I don't know, something about I don't know why, and maybe I'm just dead wrong. It just feels like I can control pegging better with 3 4 4 4 than ace 4 4 4. But maybe you've got a fair point that you know of three of the fours, and if you're throwing 8 3, it just feels maybe a smidge safer. So okay, that's a good one there. All right. I believe they are Terry hands pretty much the rest of the way. So take it away again, Mr. Cushman.
Yeah, so this is first hand of the game, your crib. So shouldn't be too stressful, at least. You are holding ace, ace, 3, 4, 5, 8. And there is a flush, which is ace 3, 5, 8 with an ace 4 left over.
And again, being that you are the dealer, it's your own crib. Yeah, this one's pretty tight. I think I'm just pitching the aces in this spot. 3, 4, 5, 8 is just a little too much power for me, and to hold ace 3, 5, 8. There's not really a whole lot that connects with that, even with the 4 ace in the crib. Yeah, I'm just not thrilled about that kind of holding, right? You're guaranteed at least 6 once everything is said and done with that one, but I just, like, I like my chances a little more with 3, 4, 5, 8. Like, if you're so inclined, although I'm not crazy about this trap, right? You can try to run the 5 trap, lead the 8 if they have all faces and fives, right? And don't dump their 5, then you kinda smash on that one. Or if they just have all faces, right? You lead the 8, then you're gonna get the run for 3 and a go 4 there. So I think 3, 4, 5, 8 is how I like to hold this one.
Well, I kept the flush.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
and I guess the reason why is because I mean ace 4 to the crib is pretty good. I mean, if I wasn't loading the crib, I'm not holding the flush in that spot because it is an ugly flush. But um I just thought it could peg, fairly well. And ace 4 to the crib, could easily net you at least 6 points.
Sure. And ace 4 of the crib is I don't have the tables up, but I would assume that is significantly better. I don't know, point and a half better than ace ace. Which is, again, a lot of times you'll just flip the crib and you have a 2-point crib, but I just think the power of 3, 4, 5, 8 to me outweighs that just a little bit. But that's another good puzzle. And Red, after I jinxed us by saying we agreed early, and I think it's been kind of ugly since then. So all right, we'll keep it moving here. Go right ahead.
All right. This should be a simpler hand here, as I think there's only two ways to play it. But kind of late in the game, you're behind. You are pwn in the 85 hole. Dealer is at the 92 hole, so a little bit out of position. You're holding 4, 5, 5, 6, queen, king. There's no flush here. 4, 5, 5, 6, queen, king.
Wow. This is a good puzzle. This is super tight, and right, there's a lot of appeal to potentially throwing 4, 6 here because you know about 2 of the 5s. Um, but I'm gonna play my position first here. I'm gonna throw king, queen. I want the guaranteed 12. Um, right? The last thing I wanna do in this spot is, like, hold 5, 5, queen, king, miss this cut, and end up dealing a little short. Right? It's not a great pegger. Not that 4, 5, 5, 6 is some great pegger, but just that extra 2 points here is all the difference in the world. Just certainly more cuts to hit with 4, 5, 5, 6 as well. I will live with it when my opponent throws queen jack to the crib in this spot. Um, and I lose because I give up a big crib, but king queen is a pretty good defensive throw to the crib anyway. So I think king queen is the toss here.
So similar to one of your hands earlier, that is how I tossed it, but I didn't love it. And in hindsight, I would probably chuck the 6-4. So I'm gonna put this down as a mild disagreement. Um, Here's the thing, and I've kind of caught on to this in the last year or two. Whenever you're holding a 4, 5, 6 double run variation, whether it's 2 5s, 2 4s, um, there's no real way to peg aggressively when you're holding that, and there's no real way to defend yourself if they pair your 4. And I don't think you're going to lead a 5 this late in the game anyway, in that spot. So I just felt like I was really vulnerable. And I had this hand earlier today, actually, against Steve Podolsky. And sure enough, he pairs my 4. And I didn't have an answer after that. I played the 6. And he did throw 2 jacks to the crib to go with my king queen. So I didn't love it. I think we cut an 8. It was a fairly neutral cut, but I think going forward this late in the game in a spot where I need to be somewhat defensive, I probably would just chuck the 6-4.
Okay. I think if the faces were paired, right? If it's like 4, 5, 5, 6, queen, queen. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on the 6-4 there, right? But I just feel like queen, king being a really excellent toss to the crib. And when it goes wrong, goes wrong. But this is another good one. But again, mild disagree. I will live with it when you get smashed up in the pegging and lose the game because of it in this spot. But just that extra 2 there is so essential at this stage in the game. Right? I would much rather be dealing from 97, plus like what is it? I guess there's only 2 cuts in the whole deck that miss 4, 5, 5, 6. Right? The 2 and the 8. Like there's just everything else gets me to 14 more, and I feel like I just try to lock down the rest of the way. And yeah, if they pair my 4, I'm gonna play the 6 every day and just live with it when it goes ugly.
Okay.
All right.
Is there one more? I think there is. Oh yeah, this was a good one actually.
We got like 3 or 4 more, so we will keep it moving. So
Oh, okay.
it's more Terry hands here. Go right ahead.
All right. So this is another tricky one on 4th Street. So you are pwn in the 109 hole. Opponent is dealing in the 107. So you're kind of in a do or die spot right here. You're holding 4, 8, 9, 9, 10 king, and
So
you
I'm gonna
can.
correct you here. You said 4.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry, 5. Oh, that's way off.
that changes just for
that
those
one
that are
minor
not
detail.
doing the video version of it. It changes the hand just a smidge.
That
So
one
go ahead,
minor
take
detail.
2. Yes.
Yes. All right. So 5, 8, 9, 9, 10 king. And there is a flush here, which you could hold 5, 9, 10 king and throw 8, 9 to the crib. So there's a lot going on here. You could hold a double run 8, 9, 9, 10 and throw king 5 if you would like. But how would you hold it?
I mean, this is a spot where I feel like it's very important to kind of pause, try to like think through your outs. And so I want to kind of do this at least out loud here as efficiently and like quickly as I can. So my first instinct is to hold the flush, right? 8 points either way. There's a little more variation in the pegging. And to be honest, like 8, 9 to my opponent's crib in a spot like this is a great insurance policy for, right? That is a situation where if I miss the cut, I end up short. There are a lot of blank cribs that can happen from 8, 9 or 2 point cribs, and that could be enough to keep me alive. But right, I want to count my outs to get out here. So if I hold the double run 8, 9, 9, 10, the 7 gets me out. That's 4 of those. That's 3 8s that get me out. So that would be 7, 2 more 9s. That's 9, 3 10s. That is 12. The jack does not get me out. The 5 does not get me out, although both of those get me within 2 versus with the flush.
You forgot 6s, I think.
6s, yes, 6s as well. Thank you. So that was, now I've lost my running cut. I think it was 13 outs, 4 7s, 3. Carry this. Let's see, 4. So 4 6s, 4 7s, 3 8s. That's 11. 2 9s. That is 13. 3 10s. That is 16 outs that I am counting, unless I miss something else that gets me out that way. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And with the flush, gosh, I guess there aren't nearly as many cards that get me out, right? The king, 3 kings gets me out. 4 jacks gets me. I believe that gets me 11 points, which I feel pretty good about, right? 2, 4. No, I guess that's 13 that way. So yeah. So all the jacks get me out. The 10s get me out. The 9s, there's only 2 of them, and they get me within 2 points. And then the 8s, 2, 4, 7, 11. And I guess if you count the 8 of spades, that would get me out. So it looks like there's actually more outs with 8, 9, 9, 10. So as much as I instinctually want to keep the flush, I want to go with the numbers here, and I'm going to hold the double run with my 16 cards to get me out versus, I don't know what we ended up on with the flush one, but I think the double run the albeit more boring, is just a better way. This one, in my opinion.
I kept the flush here. I just didn't like how limited I was pegging. Like if I missed completely, I felt like I was almost guaranteed to lose the game. So I kind of erred on the side of the flush. And my theory here was to lead the king. And then from there, I think it's very likely I could pair a five if they 15 me. I could pair a nine or a 10 and
Well,
get two.
I mean, assuming you don't crush a cut, right? You have to do that. Even if you cut to 10 points. I feel like unless my opponent shows me the other 3 fives in my hand, right? If you lead the face and they play a 5, I think you have to pair it. There's no question in my mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we did cut a 9, so that put me 2 points short, and, I can't remember if this was the game where we both ended up 1 or 2 holes out or not, but I ended up winning the game one way or the other, so I don't know if I love it, but that's the way that I went.
Yeah. And again, instinctually, like, right, if I didn't sit there and count the outs, and if you would just ask me off the top of my head which hand would have more outs to get out, I would have answered the flush. But being that we like sat down and I missed the 4 6s there, but I would do it if we actually wouldn't sit in front of a microphone. Yeah, I just think counting the outs here is makes sense. Would you hold the flush, or pardon me, not hold the flush if the opponent was, say, dealing it, say, like, I don't know, something more clear, like 113, right? Where it's like get out or it's game over.
Probably not. I just I just feel like I'm more in control of my destiny if I have a lot of options pegging, basically. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's just how I tend to approach it.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you on that. I like having that feeling, but I just, like I'm not going to go against the math on this one. I'm willing to I'm willing to be convinced that I am wrong by the cribbage players whose opinions I respect, and yours. All right, next. So we'll drive by here or there. All right, this one came from our webmaster here, Mr. David Hayes. So you are first count in hole 100. Your opponent is dealing in hole 72. So you got a pretty sizable lead. And I'm assuming the question here is more kind of go for the skunk or not. So I'm gonna read the hand. There are 5 diamonds in this hand. So the hand is ace, 5, 7, 8, 8, 9. So everything but one of the eights is a diamond. Um, Terry, I think I have a pretty strong opinion on this one. This is one of these I would be shocked if we are not in lockstep, but again, you have surprised me many times, sir. But I don't know. What do you think here?
It's so close for me, but I think I'm just gonna keep the Pat 12 here. Um, I feel like you could kind of keep the flush, maybe go for a 16 cut here if a 7 or an 8 comes up, and then have a chance to peg out the next hand. But I'm just not quite. I'd probably need to be a couple points closer to entertain that a little bit more. So I'm just gonna do or die, go for the flush. Go for the cut rather and end the game.
Yeah, 7, 8, 8, 9. I think is the hold here. If anything, ace 5, right? I feel like you kind of mitigate your chances of something going really wrong here. Right. To me, the best way to lose this game is to not hold 12 points here. And you just, like it's not like 5, 7, 8, 9 of diamonds is a bad hand, but it can go very wrong, right? Like right. Maybe you lead the 5, which is kind of a lot of the conventional wisdom with 5, 7, 8, 9. But if you lead like the middle card, right? Lead the 8, say they pair it, then you're just what do you do then, right? You're in big trouble. But like, right, you can miss that cut 5, 7, 8, 9. I guess you're gonna at least like, yeah, you cut a 4, right? And then you only have 9 points, and then you could, like miss dealing out on the next go round. So that could go ugly. I just can't really see a situation where my opponent deals out from 72 against me with ace 5 in the crib. So I think to me that is the mitigating factor. And again, right, you always need a skunk, as Brian Gurdon says. So I think you just go for that one there. Let me see where we're at here. Oh, we got another Terry hand. It's like a bonus Terry hand.
I think this is from last week.
Is it from last week? Did we already do this one? All right,
Yeah.
then. All right, yeah, we'll skip that one then and jump past these. So if we didn't do this one, then so be it. We'll chat with our webmaster there about this. But no, hopefully y'all had fun. So what was the final tally here? I think it was kind of ugly. It came down
Yeah, it was 3 agree, 6 disagree. So that puts us at 39 to 36, which ties our closest gap. We were 3 apart 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we're back in that same exact range.
Okay. Well, that's kind of, although I think most of our disagrees, I don't think there were any of these that were like hard disagrees. Like, what are you thinking? Like, block on Facebook disagree
Yeah.
stuff. Like that, even the ones where I think we saw it a little differently. It was just like, yeah, that was close. Like, I don't know. Were there any of those you felt like, dead strong about that we disagreed on? Like none of them I was like, oh, I'll just, like I think I felt very, very strongly about 3, 4, 4, 4, but then kind of as I talked it out a little bit, felt a little differently as we went along.
Yeah, that one fairly strong, I would say. That's probably the only one. I really did like the ugly flush with the ace 3, 5, 8, but I get it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's okay. It makes the show better if we again their standards that I have, and as like a former radio guy, I worked on radio shows where I, sat in rooms as host and co-host would talk about how they would manufacture disagreeing on things for like conflict to make things interesting.
mhm.
And I feel very strongly against that. Like that's not something I'm going to do on this program. If it's funny, if anything, pre-show we were kind of talking about how like hate is stronger than love, and it's really easy to be like passionate about things that you hate in the world. As we talked about before, right? Like you said that you prefer the Yankees losing to the Red Sox winning,
I
even
get
though it might be close.
I get more satisfaction when the Yankees lose for some reason, especially in like playoff situations.
Yeah, that's fair. And like you're allowed to, have that feeling, and that's okay. We believe in validating feelings on this program, or at least I do. Like it's, if you would go negative on it, Terry, and tell people squash down how they're feeling about stuff, then they're right on, like, all for you. But no, like it's fun when we disagree on these hands. I still feel like I want us to have like our own personal long match at some point. Like just sit down for like a day, just play like 20 games, 50 games, something like that, in person. Just keep big stats on it. I don't know, maybe we'll shoot for something like that down forward. But yeah, potentially, I don't know, maybe next week we'll close up shop on the long match and kind of get that thing going. We will close down the details on like format and all those other fun things like side pools, all the not that there's ever any money involved in cribbage things, but hey, as an unaffiliated show, we could say whatever the heck we want, right? Like we are not
Yeah,
sponsored by any cribbage organizations, so it's always good.
true. It's
So
absolutely
great.
true.
All right. Well, speaking of closing up shop, we will close up shop for this evening. I hope everybody has a happy new year. Please, 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 especially if you decide to have some champagne or have some fun times, like get a, the hire an Uber, get Terry Cushman going. Are you going to Uber on New Year's Eve, by the way? Is that a thing? Like, you're going to make you some money that night, huh?
Yeah, that's like the Super Bowl for Uber drivers. So you can make between $400 and $500 in a 10 or
Ooh.
12 hour.
All right. Yeah, get you that plastic liner for the bottom of your vehicle. You're not going to take the girlfriend's like new car out for Uber driving that night, are you?
No, that would just be an emergency scenario if we ever had to do that. But I'll take the Sonic out and see what happens.
All right. All right. Well, again, everybody, please be safe out there on New Year's. Everybody have a great week and hope we catch up with you at some cribbage tournaments in the near future. Thank you. Have a great week.